Flapping your gums with Vinny and Hessey. Yeah!
All right, what's up, yo? We are back. This is Flapping Your Gums with Hessey, Vinny.
What's up?
Dude, episode 40, the big 40.
40. Episode 40.
And I wish I had a mixer because I would have made something special like a guest, but I guess we're going to have to wait till Christmas, see if Santa brings me one.
Yeah, with this new microphone, I tried to get an adapter so I could hook up to my mixer and found out today that that's not happening. So, moving on. Trial and error.
Moving on, huh?
That's all it is.
That's it. It's just, I should probably look and see about trying to find a mixer that's got a USB.
Correct. I'm going to say that's going to be the way to go. Because, the USB on this mic, it's plugged into the computer right now, and I'm assuming it gives it power because this lights up when it's on. Mm-hmm. And then this USB to 3.5 jack, I plugged it all in and plugged it in, and it did not light up. So there was no sound. There was nothing. So, I think there's a power element to it. Probably keeps that noise cancellation, stuff like that out of it. I mean, I'm a truck driver, so I mean, it's,
Breaker 190.
No, not quite that kind of truck driver, but
running that ham radio.
It's called a CB, not a ham.
Is that what it is?
It's a CB.
You're a trucker,
bro.
Try to play it off like you're not.
You're like, yeah.
I think you can have ham. You can have a ham radio on your truck.
Well, of course you could.
You just have to have that big antenna and all that stuff. But it's a CB, yeah. Walkie-talkie.
Yeah, I think they did. CBs had big antennas also. I'm not sure. I remember Dad had that. We had an antenna sitting in the backyard that was 20 feet tall. That was ham radio.
Well, that was ham radio. I got a ham radio name.
You have a license? No.
It's when he did. We don't have a ham radio, but when you get a name, it's like it is forever, always. You know what I mean? Like when Dad gave us those names, he had to turn them in. You have to turn your ham radio names in. So you remember, you had.
I know what his was. I remember his.
Because you have one, I thought.
I don't believe so.
I don't remember.
I would use his.
I think he wrote all. He made all three of us one because it wasn't Kevin's Boomer or something.
Are you talking about ham radio, or are you talking about
ham radio
CB?
Names? Mine. No, the ham radio. Because I remember that old. We used to call him Uncle Bill, but he wasn't really our uncle.
So you're talking Dad, that's dead Dad?
Real Dad.
Or are you talking Dad? Okay.
No, real Dad. He was into He was into ham.
He was into
radios.
CB. No, it was all CB.
No, they were all ham. Remember, that's what the tower was a ham for ham radioing.
Dad was into CB.
Because my ham radio handle name is the Fresno Falcon.
Okay, so that's a CB name because the ham radio name is numbers. You have numbers and letters in ham radio.
But how do you? So you just come on and say this is number 27.
So you say, hey, this is N7 OTC QRB calling.
How do you know that?
Well, that's not Dad's. That's not stepdad's. Okay.
So then maybe I had
clarify.
CB.
You had a CB name, and those were just run by. That was you still had antennas for that, so you can get farther. But ham radio, you actually have to have a license. You have a number, and then you get a little card and you stick it next to your deal so you can talk to people. But that was when Dad and Tim, kind of back before cell phones. Tim would come down from Salt Lake, and he'd have a portable, big old military-looking radio, and that's how you could talk to Dad to let him know he was on his way. Like, hey, I made it to Levan, or I made it to Scipio, halfway point, whatever it was. But yeah, I used to know Dad's because he wouldn't be there, and so then Tim would call, and I'd get on there and I'd call out his name, which is illegal. I can't use his number. When you're 12, hopefully you can get away with it. But I knew his number, and I'd reply, to let him know that somebody somebody was at least listening on our end, so we knew he was on his way.
Oh, so, that's ham.
That's ham radio, yeah.
Huh.
Like ham radio is what they say that, basically for all the survivalists and stuff like that out there, ham radio is going to where we're going to be when, crap hits the fan.
You're talking about all the preppers?
Yeah, all the preppers.
Sweeney's going to have to get him a ham radio.
And, and I don't know what it costs to get it, but I mean, you have to take a class. There's like protocol, but a CB is just, mother trucker. You can just throw it out there, change channels and stuff like that. Where ham radio, I'm not sure if there's many channels, but I think it's just kind of open airway. But that's why you talk on the things. But yeah, Dad will probably tell us when he listens to this episode. He'll be like, yeah, no, there's channels on ham radio and stuff like that. But yeah, you do have to have a number. When you got that name for CB, that's like a trucker name. This is the Big Bad Wolf. I-15.
What's that? R.D. Mercer.
R.D. Mercer.
Convoy, dude. Seems convoy.
See, that's all CB stuff. That's just talking.
They're talking about that convoy. It's a song from R.D. Mercer.
You love that. I love that song. First time I ever heard it was on the Man Trip.
Greenhole cranks that up. Shout out Greenhole, dude, who's playing that. R.D. Mercer, yeah, Convoy. They're talking about
you go on a 3 to 4 day Man Trip with Hessey here. You're going to listen to Convoy probably 20 times.
And what's the other one? The one that Duke and I cranked one night the whole time, dude, in the Grove.
Greenhole. Put it on repeat.
Simple Man. We just sat there and sang Simple Man.
Well, you got to pick the songs you know the words, right?
Oh, yeah. We were cranking, dude. Cranking. Yeah, well, that's cool. That's something to learn. I didn't know that. So then I had a CB name.
You had a CB name.
Boomer. And then mine was the Fresno Falcon because that was the hockey team in Fresno.
Yeah.
The Falcons. And then I don't know what yours was.
Well, I know my Indian, like when we were in Fresno, and this is I'm 45 years old, so we're talking 40 years ago. We had an Indian tribe. It wasn't like it was kind of like Boy Scouts, but it was through the church, and you got together with your, it was a father and son type situation, sat around, and they gave everybody Indian names. Like I understand it's probably politically incorrect now.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this.
Bunch of white.
We really derailed off from radio.
Well, no, but that's where I got my name. I was Brown Eyes. Like I was little Brown Eyes. Dad was Big Brown Eyes, and I was Little Brown Eyes, and I was just a little kid, and we'd go to this powwow. We had a powwow, and like it was like the Boy Scouts, and you just did all the same stuff you can do with the Boy Scouts. You sit around like a campfire. Some nights
singing Kumbaya or what?
Pretty much. I mean, I was 5-6 years old.
California?
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a lot.
That stuff ain't gonna fly now,
dude. They should. I gotta get this. I gotta come down to UPS. They gotta change your nickname from Vinny, dude. You gotta go to Brown Eye.
Little Brown Eyes.
Little Brown Eye.
Little Brown Eye.
It ain't, yeah, from what I know, it ain't little.
Oh gosh,
I ain't even talk about that.
But yeah, that was what.
What was it called? Little Indians.
They just called it a powwow troop. Like you were in a powwow thing. They said, instead of being like troop 222 or whatever your Boy Scout troops are, they have numbers, and it was just.
So did you have any? Was there any Indians in your?
Dude, I was 6 years old, and I'm pretty sure that was a negative on that. That was just. Legit. I mean, maybe the church was on a reservation. Maybe that's how they got away with it. I don't know.
Was it a Catholic church?
That I couldn't tell you either.
Bunch of little boys, tribe with a Catholic priest.
I don't know about that. Yeah,
do I need to get the doll?
There was no where did he touch you here?
Where did you get touched at the tribal camp?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good. All right, I was just checking.
I'm good. I'm good that way. But there was I know there was a headdress involved at one point. I do remember a headdress.
So, okay, I did not partake in any of that sort of stuff. That
you
racist stuff.
3 at the most.
But I do remember going when we lived in Utah. we did a whole thing like that, like an Indian deal where like I had like a headdress on, leather with the like a whole like dressed out. You remember? She lived down the road from us when we lived in the Elsinore Addition. And for everybody who's listening, yep. So for everybody who's listening, there's like Elsinore, which is the town, which has houses, normal stick-built houses, and it's nice. And then they kicked all of us poor folk out to the Elsinore Addition, and it was like a giant mobile home trailer park.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean,
I don't care what
they
you
didn't
say.
kick
You have
me,
Elsinore and you have Elsinore Addition.
You do.
You couldn't move your trailer into the town.
No.
So therefore, you're kind of kicked out. But it really was Elsinore and the Elsinore Addition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we lived. But down the street was Bernadine. But she was Indian.
She had some Indian in her, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she understood the cultures and she understood the traditions and stuff. Yeah.
Because she had like that long dark hair, like olive colored skin. Like, I don't know what percentage, but she was definitely a lot. Oh man, her whole place, she had all kinds of Indian stuff and all that. But yeah, I remember doing a thing. I think because she did scouts.
Correct. Yeah,
and we did like a whole Indian deal. Like we made stuff and it was cool. It was super rad.
Well, that was like, we also did the Mountain Man Rendezvous. Did you ever do the Mountain Man Rendezvous?
Yeah, that's kind of the opposite of what Indian.
Correct.
That was white man.
Right. Fur trading and trapping. And it was
during those times for sure.
But I think they were trying to introduce us to different types of things. And I don't feel like, I mean, it was just more of a class. Like, it wasn't like this that I did when I was a kid was every single week. Like that. Yeah, it was a powwow.
Tribe.
It was, it was called, we were some, I don't even think they called it a troop. Your Boy Scouts call it a troop. This little organization called it something else. But yeah, the Mountain Men one, that's where you dressed up in your leathers, your furs. You learned how to throw an axe, start a fire, shoot black powder rifle. And you had a little competition between troops and stuff like that. So
between the teams, you had who could start a fire the fastest and
tie the knots and stand on the rope.
I think, did you and I win the shooting one?
Was
it you and me?
I was on a team. We won. Yeah, I did the axe throwing. I got the axe throwing. I got put to the front of the lead on, out of the team. I was able to do axe throwing.
2-man shooting thing, and then it was it. I remember. I don't know if you and I are a team, but I remember they finally caught us and told us we couldn't do it. We were, while one was ramming the rod to get the bullet. So how a muzzleloader works for those that it's called traditional. A lot of shooters now it's an inline, but the traditional musket or muzzleloader is this like octagon steel barrel that weighs like, I don't even know, probably 8 pounds. It's like 3 feet long. It's this barrel. It's an octagon-shaped barrel, and then it has a wooden stock, and it has the crankback hammer that you put a blasting cap on. Then you put a certain amount of powder, just dump it down inside the barrel, and then you take a wad, which is like a cloth or whatever. A lot of guys keep them oiled, or they'll keep them in their mouth. Like when you're doing the speed one, it's in your mouth, and take it out because you want it to be wet, and you stuff this round ball on the barrel of it, and then you take a rod that's attached to the gun, you pull it out, and you ram this ball down into the barrel of this gun. Well, that powder packs down in there. Well, then that's where you crank back your hammer and you put a blasting cap on there that sparks. So what we were doing, and I thought it was with you, but it could be wrong. One guy would grab it, dump the powder, you would take the wad out, stick it on there, and you start ramming down there, and he'd go down there and put the cap on.
Yeah.
So that way you're ready to pick up and shoot.
Correct.
So was that you and I? And then they yelled at us?
Yeah.
Because you have a blasting cap on a loaded gun, basically, as you're ramming a ball down with powder ready to go off. So basically blow your hand and face off if if that hammer ever got hit or clipped.
It'd be a little flash burn. It wouldn't be that big a deal if you don't have the bullet in there yet, because the bullet just rolls in. Yeah, but you don't ram the bullet.
No, but it would still happen. That bullet would still come blasting out.
Well, yeah, it would.
It's still causing.
But when you're ramming it, you're just ramming the wad. That's all you're ramming down is the wad, and then you drop the bullet, because a lot of people would tip their guns forward and the ball just rolls out.
No, so you take the wad and you push the ball on it, and then you shoved it down in there, and then you ram the ball and the wad down, because that wad has to comb the ball, and it wedges itself down. So then you bounce it until the rod bounces out, and then you've hit it enough. That rod hits that. Yeah. It bounces. So you're doing that. If that power goes off, it's shooting that rod through your hand. Yeah. Probably splinter it, and then it's throwing that ball, because you got 150 grains of powder in that thing.
Man, well, we won.
Yeah, it was because it was time, and we didn't die. So,
I got 10 fingers. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
My face, my money maker.
I don't know about that.
Because when you picked it up, it was already ready, so it was timed. Remember, we were shooting them wooden targets.
Yeah,
and then we had to shoot them raw eggs too. Did you do the egg shooting? That was for the accuracy one. If you missed it, you could do another shot, but you had to eat the raw egg.
Yes.
Yeah. So I ate a couple raw eggs before. I wasn't about to I'll gut them down. I'm not about to lose. I'll hit it eventually. I think I ate 2 of them. And then
but we did win. But that year that I was on the team,
I think you won the fire smoking one too. Didn't you win the fire starter?
We won the whole thing, because they gave out one.
Combined.
But we were combined with another team, so we had to share the black powder rifle that was the winner. I never saw it again.
What was it?
It was a black powder gun. Like, we got a rifle. Like, you won a rifle.
Oh, yeah, what happened to that?
I'm pretty sure it went with the other team and never came back. I know. It's okay. I've never shot black powder since then. I haven't.
Dad has a traditional.
That's great. I've never shot it.
You guys should shoot it this over Thanksgiving.
That's too much work, dude.
Which brings us into it. Let's talk about Thanksgiving's coming up. It's actually will be this week. So that's cool. I mean, we get to eat a ton. Are you doing? Is your gym doing the Thankful Throwdown or whatever they call it? A Thanksgiving workout, I should say.
Yeah, they'll do a Thanksgiving partner workout in the morning on Thursday. We don't have it. Yeah, I'm coaching it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You get a lot of people?
We do get quite a few. I mean, it just depends on the year. It depends on, I don't know if COVID kind of slowed stuff down the last couple of years. We've had, I don't know, we don't get as many as you for sure. But for our gym, we go from 6 to 8 people in our regular class at 6 a.m. We'll probably have close to 20. We'll have about 20 people down there. I'm not sure when they're going to announce what the workout is, but that's not my department. I just coach what gets posted.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so, I don't have a clue what ours is going to be either.
And we get a few people that, their family members are into doing their CrossFit every morning, and they've got some, like a runner or a lifter or something in the family that comes to visit, and they're just like, yeah, I'll go with you. And we just, scale it down and all have a good time and take a big picture at the end. And that way we've made room for all the turkey and sweet potatoes we're going to eat later,
Sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes. With marshmallows.
No. That's disgusting.
No, it's delicious. How do you like your cranberries?
I'm not a sweet potato person.
No, sweet potatoes, a little brown sugar, with a little marshmallow on top?
Nope.
Yeah, buddy.
I think it's a texture thing, and those are just, they call them yams?
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes, same thing. They're just, they're orange things? Nope. No, they're gross. I like my cranberries, liquid form and club soda with vodka.
Wow. Okay.
Cranberry
juice. It's just freaking cranberry cocktail. That's all I like. Cranberry what? Yeah, I'll take one.
Yeah, maybe put a lime. I think they cut it with a lime. I think they put some of that on top there.
Sounds good.
No, I don't really. Do
you like the cranberry berries, or do you like the jelly one that you?
I like cranberries. like
slide.
dried up. I like craisins. I like craisins.
Cranberry sauce.
No.
No. So do you like the stuff that it's just like almost like a jelly with the cranberries in it, or do you like the jelly one that slides out of the can and holds that can for me? Just
looks
slice
like dog. Looks like cat
yeah.
food.
Like
no, I don't eat the cranberry, any of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess I'm lame on that. So I don't do the sweet potatoes.
You don't do anything with flavor. Just freaking turkey and mashed potatoes, and you're good.
Meat and taters, bro. That's it. That's all you gotta do. I mean, I don't mind cranberry. Like, I like craisins, but when it comes to like it's not like a thing. Like, I don't go, oh man, scoop it up and plop it on there. I don't really know. It doesn't really. It's like Jello. I'd rather have Jello.
Okay.
I'm assuming it looks that way, anyways.
Yeah, the gelatin one does, yes. But the other one's
the other one?
The other one's like it's cranberries with like a thicker, like a
jello-y
jelly. It's almost like jelly. It's like jelly having cranberries
Jello.
inside.
Yeah. So I just tend to stay away from those. I'll do basically everything else. I'll do turkey. So is this true? Like, is there really something in turkey that makes you go to sleep or gets you sleepy?
Yeah, is it MSG?
I don't think. No,
it's MSG. It's MSG.
What's MSG?
I don't know. It's like melatonin, I think. I don't know.
How is that? Then how do they add? They add that stuff.
They don't add it. It's just in it.
Well,
there are food that add
MSGs.
Correct. There's food that has no added MSGs. Are you looking up MSG in turkey? Look up MSG in turkey. Go on, you got your phone in your hand. Check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
tell
turkey.
me what to do. You're not the boss of me.
Well, you got to talk.
Why does turkey make you sleepy? First things first, turkey does contain tryptophan.
Okay. That's a big word.
See, it ain't even MSG.
Oh, okay.
Don't be making shit
I don't know.
Gosh damn it. Because I don't know, you may be right too. But, because like when you get something that you're eating, it'll say like no MSGs. So I feel like that's something that gets added to kind of like red dye 40 or whatever. It's making kids crazy or something. Or shrinking taints or whatever it does. I don't know.
I think that's plastic. That's plastic.
Sorry, that's plastic. My bad. So, yeah, so that's what it does, according to research published. Yeah, so that's whatever that is. It's TRY, so tryptophan, PTOPHAN. So there you go. So you need to look up what MSG is.
Yeah, MSG is monosodium glutamate, also known as sodium glutamate, is a sodium salt of glutamate acid. MSG is found naturally in some foods, including tomatoes and cheese, in this glutamatic acid form. What does MSG do? MSG is monosodium glutamate, adds pure umami to foods, which is the fifth basic taste after sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. If part of the salt in food is replaced with MSG, its umami taste compensates for the loss of saltiness, making even the low salt dish palatable. So it sounds like an
additive.
Sounds like it's a sodium additive.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so there you go. And so,
all right, I take it back. MSG doesn't make you go to sleep. It's whatever you said that word was.
Try
to hold my cut. But yeah, go to your traditions. Let's talk about this because we're on it right now.
Tryptophan, I think, is what it is.
That sounded really good. Sound like you nailed that. Tryptophan.
I mean, I guess you just act like you know what you're saying. Tryptophan.
Yeah.
So tryptophan is what is in turkey that makes you sleepy. So now everybody that is listening to this, when you're going for Turkey Day, you can let everybody know that tryptophan is what causes you to be sleepy because it has to do with the while there is an amino acid in turkey that can make you feel sleepy.
There you go. You're sitting at the table. You guys will sound smart.
And who knows? Maybe due to you ate 6 pounds of it, you fat bastards. That could also do it too.
It's true.
I feel no matter what, if you eat 6 pounds of it, you're gonna feel tired.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Your body's like, it's too much. So I don't know. So traditions, yeah. Let's hear. Well, you and I have similar, probably the same. So, what ones do you remember of our? I guess our first and foremost, we have our movie tradition, which is always we watch, or we do Thanksgiving stuff, and then we watch
Christmas Vacation. Heck yeah, we do.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So, greatest movie of all time.
I tried to get everybody to watch it last night, and then nobody wanted to do it.
Well, you can't, dude. That's too early, dude. Too early, bro.
It's not too early. You can still watch it on Thanksgiving. I could watch that a whole bunch, but nobody wants to watch it because I say the lines before it happens.
Dude, I know. I do have to. Well, I have to make myself be quiet.
I know.
I think now that I've seen it so many times, I don't even repeat it now. I'm just I know, but I'll still watch it, dude. At least a couple times before Christmas.
I know. Oh yeah.
I love it. All right, at least you'll even for sure have it on.
And all year long, I do the. I use the one line of "Why is the floor all wet, Todd?"
I don't know, Margot. Yeah, he's all take that tree and show you where to show. So, anyways,
I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah. So I think that's a great one.
No, that's a good one. We do skeet shooting. We've started, when we started getting old enough to start shooting, we started that one with the Moors. We'd go out to kind of the makeshift shooting range above Elsinore and shoot skeet. And then we just started doing it as a family to where we go out in the morning, we throw some pigeons and we shoot. And then we take a break and have some food and then we go back out and do it again. So we do have a skeet shooting. We've never actually done kept track and done a competition or anything with it. We just go out and do it until your arm hurts.
It was probably for the best not to make it a competition.
I don't know.
I feel like
everything's a little more fun with the competition.
Just do it this week.
Yeah,
you guys are going out.
We don't want anybody crying.
Get a little dry. Yeah, see, that's what'll happen. It gets all, no, that wasn't a hit. We don't count that. Whatever. Too many rules.
Oh, did you see that piece fly off? You're like, no, that's a wad. Nothing flew off of that.
Then I got to make up rules as we go, so I'll win. Right. It gets crazy.
We used to do some tannerite. We've kind of stepped it up. We got older.
So what worked out nice too is for us, our tradition was that. So we go in, like you said, the prepping starts and all that stuff, and we go out and shoot skeet. But also then we'd get rifles out and we basically shoot anything. Mom would say pumpkins from Halloween.
Yes.
And then as we progressed and got older and more stuff came out, more dangerous stuff came out, then we decided that. So then it was let's put tannerite in pumpkins.
In a pumpkin. Yeah.
And blow pumpkins up and stuff. So shooting targets, pumpkins, ski, I think. Then we started getting into where we had pistols. I know we've shot pistols. And then we've kind of evolved. Then we got cooler and got semi-autos and stuff like that.
We had tracer rounds. Did we have tracer rounds one year? I want to say we had some tracer rounds.
I think, yeah, because then we waited for the evening.
Yeah, we were waiting until it was getting dark.
Out. Yeah. Did I bring those ones?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, that was with my other rifle. And then last year was when I brought the
Blackout, wasn't it?
The new one, yeah. The new one I built.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
And we have shooting traditions. It's always turkey. Sweetheart roll. A lot of times we get the sweetheart roll from Norbest. They do a sweetheart roll, and we looked at the sweetheart rolls here at Lynn's a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
$120 a roll.
Oh my gosh,
insane!
Okay, so because you used to get those.
Mom and Dad used to get them.
Vinny used to. So the place that processes this place is in Ephraim. So Vinny used to deliver
Moroni.
there. Oh yeah. And so
I used to deliver to the town.
Nobody knows where that shit's at, anyways.
They can look it up.
Oh, cool. It's in Utah.
Google Map it.
Used to travel,
Moroni.
whatever. So, they
get your facts right.
But, dude, we don't fact check around here. Nobody even knows where it's at. They're probably like, "What's in whatever." So, anyways, that doesn't have to do with the story.
Oh, okay.
The story is plant. He would go get us hooked up with.
Oh.
It smells, yeah, but there was no middleman, so whatever they had extra or stuff like that.
Right, they have a little outlet store on the building, and I could get it a little bit cheaper in the stores. Yeah.
Yeah, boy. So it's still there, but now it's like a process because I'm going to need some more, so I'll hit you up after anyways. But because then we got to get, is it Billy?
No, it'll be Josh.
Oh,
you got to get Josh. He's on that route now.
Does he listen?
I doubt it.
Oh.
I don't think he listens, but it's all right.
You're listening, Josh. Shout out, brother, because I need me some turkey.
Need some turkey. But we have the turkey. We've never really done, back when the turkey cooking has changed a couple of times, but more or less.
I deep fried one.
You did deep fry one. That was intense because that was when everybody was having all those big, huge grease fires and stuff like that because they were putting too much grease in the.
Yeah, they were overfilling. We didn't overfill it.
No, you didn't overfill it, and it was a great taste.
Everybody's worried about it.
But look how long.
Remember, I injected it.
Yeah, you injected it. We all sit inside the house and watch you through the window in your fireman suit. No, I'm just kidding. Didn't you have you had a big glove on?
I had
a
welding glove on.
Yeah, welding glove.
Well, because it gets hot because I only had that little short thing that came in the package or in the box or kit. I don't know what you want to call it. And so, like when you're dropping it down in there, if she gets. See,
and I don't feel like that phase lasted very long. Like I don't think. I mean, there's probably still people that do it, but
we do it every Christmas. We deep fry turkey.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Well, Corey deep fries it, but we go over to his parents' house.
Yeah.
And so they get a turkey, and they do a prime rib, and then we deep fry Corey deep fries a turkey.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Every year.
And then,
dude, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's so much better than. I think it tastes better
than roasting it.
One in one of those cooking pots or pressure cookers or whatever the thing is.
It's a roaster.
I think roaster, but see, but that's also. Oven. But also, we've gone how many years of doing that? Whatever you called it,
roaster.
The love ball or love. What was that thing?
Sweetheart roll.
Sweetheart roll.
Sweetheart roll.
Yeah, that love ball. Dude.
Oh man,
whatever.
Sweetheart roll. Yeah, no, we've done that.
That doesn't have any bone. It's not even a turkey. I mean, it's a turkey, but it's all pressed together.
Yeah, it's all smashed up into a tube.
Yeah, so it's not an actual turkey. I mean, when's the last time we had cut it off the bone, the carcass turkey? It's been years.
Yeah,
because so for the listeners, we go. I travel to Utah and we do it at the farm where our parents live. Is the normal tradition that we've been doing for a while.
And as families get bigger, sometimes you don't make it. So that's just, we try to split it up a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I think we've made it. You guys have made it. Even when you went to the other family, your wife's family, you guys still came over.
But we're lucky enough that our families are within 8 miles. You know what I mean? Like you can go to one and go to the other. You don't have that either.
This year, which is a pretty bummer deal. But Alexa's not happy about it. Alexa is like, I wish we were going to Utah. I go, look, you got to quit saying that. You can say it to Dad, but don't be saying it to Mom. Like, you can't. It's just, and I told her, I says, it's fine. It'll be fine. Her family's coming to Nevada, and they live in Wyoming.
But it's just something different
here, and so we're doing it there. But yeah, I mean, it's you have two families. We've been doing how many years? 15 years.
Yeah,
13, 14, 15 years. We've been coming out to Utah. So doing a one time here, I think is going to be, that seems like we're a little biased on going to the farm.
Every 15 years you do one there. Yeah. Yeah. So, it's a little one-sided. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I don't know what is going to happen on this one. I mean, I'm excited to see it. I think it's going to be just like you watch on the National Lampoons, dude. It's going to be havoc, like chaos, dude. Because it's like already, you know, like her sister's like, oh no, do you make it this way? Do you make? Because Tasha's like, hey, I'll help you, and she's like, oh, do you make it? You know, because like so she has her traditions or ways,
right?
And so then
Recipes.
it's like, oh, I'll help you out. Recipes.
Her recipes.
And it's like, oh, do you make it with this? Do you make it with this? Make it this? And then Tasha's like, I just make it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, well. And so that's coming in. And then her folks are coming from Wyoming, and her sister's going to stay here, which is cool. They got a younger kid. We're going to park him. He's going to shack up out in the trailer, like his own little apartment. Because he's like 15 or something. You know, he don't want to be hanging out in here with the girls.
Right.
Because most of the time, I probably won't be here a lot anyways. With the weather changing and stuff like that, it's coyote season. So.
And we do know people that's their tradition is to go out go coyote hunting in the morning. Yeah. You know, and there's people that do that go coyote hunting.
That's what mine is now. All of a sudden,
yeah. Just today, this week, right now. Like I'm
staying in Nevada, I decided that my tradition is to go hunt. So yeah, I mean, there's tons of different. I think traveling. People have traveling ones. You know what I mean? Like
huge.
I know like. Every year they probably because I mean airports are insanely busy,
crazy,
right? You know what I mean. So that's got to be a tradition. Like every year we go and get at the airport and have to deal with 10,000 people, and it's a pain in the butt, and you know it sucks. But we fly to this place and we do this, and then we fly home, and they probably do it every year and complain about it every time. But they do it again,
right? But you know, in their situation, it's probably like. Maybe the family flies to, I don't know, mom and dad's house or grandma and grandpa. So everybody flies there. And maybe, hopefully, they kind of balance that out so that they fly one year, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa fly the next year. So maybe they don't have to do it every year. Yeah. I mean, it's still the same family doing some type of flying, but, you know.
I think, too, also you get into that. You start to, when you're the grandparents, you're like, hey, let's go to the grandparents. Like, we don't know how many they got left.
It's too late.
Yeah, you know. But I mean, it's all you never know. It's just kind of how it goes.
But I'd pay for, you know, like mom and dad to fly somewhere because if you take you and you have one child, I have a couple of kids that still live here and stuff like that. So the ticket prices, if you're going to weigh the differences, it'd be like, hey, we'll pay for you to come out, so we're not paying that extra to fly to you. So
yeah, no doubt.
Let's
well, we did it
budget here.
What's it? A couple years ago, we went and did it in Park City.
Yeah.
Remember when we tried to get everybody to go up to there? But that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that one was a Airbnb, and then you guys went up to some restaurant that just did everything for you. There's no cooking. There's no. I've always wanted to go to Vegas and go to the Bellagio buffet on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
that's what I know that we had invited everybody though, but I think you guys already had. Well, Kevin wasn't even living in the state. I don't believe.
Correct.
And I think I don't know if I were going to, but I think you guys had something going.
I don't think I had like the Friday off.
The time off.
Yeah, because it was like I was working Monday through Wednesday.
It was something like
then
that.
Then had to work on Friday. Yeah. So it would be like,
and
then it snowed like a mother.
Oh yeah, it did too. And what was funny though, it was with the year before, we'd always talked about doing it because Mom does it every year. You know, when we come and then like try to help out, and Tasha stays in the kitchen and helps and does that stuff. So it's like it's work. All like they're there like prepping for the day or two before, and then it's like getting everything ready. And we're staying at the house, so then we're there doing the work. So it's like you go for like a vacation, but then you're sitting there cooking for days, you know, prepping, shopping, doing all that stuff. So it was funny because they were talking about it. And was like, and then Tasha's like, oh, well, maybe next year I'll do it. Like, we'll show up and we'll do it all. Mom can just kind of hang out and, you know, she always is going to help because that's just her. That's like her love language. She shows that she cares for you by doing stuff for you. You know what I mean? So it's funny because then here's Tasha like, I didn't say I was going to help out at all, but I get dragged into it, of course. It always kind of works that way. Like, oh yeah, we could do this. And then I'm there and she's like, oh yeah, you can carry this stuff or load this stuff or fix this stuff. And I'm like, what was this you and me thing? I'm the one doing this. You know what I mean? So it was funny because she's like, oh, well, we'll help and we'll do all this stuff and we'll prep it and do all that. And then I would get with you guys and be like, hey, you guys want to come over? We're going to do this. Probably we would deep fry turkey if I was going to do it.
Right.
And so we would all participate and help out. Well, then it comes down to that. And then Tasha's like, oh, I got an idea. Let's go to Park City, get a house, and we'll pay someone to do it. I'm like, that's getting out of you were supposed to be the one doing it. And so that was like the laughing joke was that it was supposed to be her year to do everything. And she went and opted out and had that place do it.
Yeah, but you said it was really good. You said it was a great,
it was bomb, dude.
Yeah.
They did such a good job, and it was cool because it was like super quaint. They only had so many people,
where you had so many reservations, right?
Right, and then everybody was just kind of like it was all quiet and candles, and everybody was just kind of in their places, and stuff like that. But it ain't cheap doing it because I think they just know. They know they got you.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're
going to pay, like if you don't want to do the work, if we're going to do the work, you're going to pay for it.
We had paid for it. And then Mom was like, well, we want to do the tip. I'm like, don't worry about it. We got no. And they would just like insisted. Like, whatever. If you want to do it, geez, leave me alone. Like, fine, you can pay the tip. She's like, well, how much? And I told her and she's just like, oh my gosh. And I was like, hey, you're the one that said you wanted to pay the tip. So cough it up. Yeah.
Man, so that's your Thanksgiving traditions.
I think that covers them, right? Oh, we go get a Christmas tree.
Oh, on Black Friday, usually.
Oh,
I said usually on Black Friday we get a Christmas tree.
Yeah, well, that's the same Thanksgiving.
Yeah. That's what I said.
It cut out a couple times on you.
That's all I was saying. I'm adding that to our Thanksgiving tradition. Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely getting it because Alexa goes. So are we then going to drive to Utah in December to get a Christmas tree? And I was like, what? She's all are we still going to Utah for Christmas to get?
Utah's the only place with pine trees, dude.
I'm like, yeah. I was like, no, we get that. I go, we do that on Thanksgiving. She's like, oh, that's right. We go after, and I'm like, yeah. So I go, well, we'll probably end up going here. So, because we don't do a Christmas tree. I mean, we do a Christmas tree, but it's a fake one. Like, we got one of those big fake ones that fold out and does that. Yeah. It looks real as shit. And so I'm like, dude, it's great. There's no needles everywhere.
No water.
Hang some of them tree smelly things in there, some pine smellies, and it smells like a new tree, like a Christmas tree. So, but we do cut a Christmas tree because I plant it outside. I got this mound that's got flat. And dude, this thing riddled me this. So you bring your tree inside and you put it in the tree holder and it's got water, right?
Yes.
And that thing dries up drier than a popcorn fart.
Right, it just keeps sucking the water.
Before Christmas, the thing is, if you touch it, needles are falling off of it.
Correct.
I can take the same tree that we get on Friday. I drive it to Utah or from Utah to Nevada, so it just stays in the back of my truck. Just
so it's been out open for 3 days.
Yeah, just wind. So it's sapped or whatever they say to do because I don't just plant it as soon as I get home. I just leave it outside, set it out, pick it up, and I dig a hole. I got this little hole in my rock mound where my shrubs are at, and I put it in the middle. And I put a Christmas lights on it, and I put my Christmas decorations. So I have a pine tree in my front yard for Christmas. Right. And this thing, I left it in there. It stayed green the whole time, so I just left it till like after New Year's.
Yeah.
And it had no petals even, or no needles, like barely were falling off. I grabbed the tree and pulled it up out of the ground because it won't root because you cut it off.
Right.
But I pulled it out of the ground, dude, and it's not. You would think it would have been like that Charlie Brown one where they all the needles go
right,
fall off. Nothing, still green.
I don't know.
I don't either, dude. I don't go out and water it.
No.
The snow does.
Maybe a little like snow normal. And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and it ain't like we're getting hammered with snow here in Nevada.
True. I don't know. I think Mom's tried to even. I don't know if she's read some stuff where. She puts them in a bucket when she's done and sees if I don't know why it's not it's not an avocado. It's not going to grow roots and start growing a potato.
It's not like a popular tree or something where you can just take a trim off branch off. Once you lop them off, they're done. But it was crazy, dude. I couldn't believe the 2 years or how many years, the last couple of years, I've been paying attention to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because it's down in the dirt and it's getting some nutrients with it. You know what I mean? Like because it's absorbing. Right.
But it's also not, but you're also not holding like when you have it in the house, you're also keeping stuff at over 65 degrees with your heater, so I'm pretty sure just the house temperature is starting to, does have a factor of drying it out also.
Yeah. That
so, I mean, there's a little bit of that. It freezes at night, so it's not drying up at night. It's kind of like in ketosis, or whatever, not ketosis. Yeah, it's just frozen. Yeah, it's hibernating. Yeah. I don't know.
No. So that takes care of, I believe, I would say that's our Christmas. So if anybody of you guys listening, comments, emails, flapping your gums at Yahoo, comment on YouTube if you want. Let's hear some of them. And then also, if you're going to hit us up, let us know some of your Thanksgiving ones, because we'll talk about it after Thanksgiving. Let us know some of your Christmas ones, especially some of our overseas listeners. Like, I wonder how that works. Being that
it'd be like some of them call it Boxing Day. Don't they call it like Boxing Day?
I don't know. Sure.
I don't know. I got that off Harry Potter. So
I think some of them would be Harry Potter. Yeah. I think some of them too would be like if they're Christians, because that's the birth of Christ is Christmas. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like that. So I'm sure the other countries unless they don't probably celebrate it like this, because you have like Hanukkah and all those different ones too. So
yeah, we have.
It'd be cool. Here. Let us know, and then also, I know we have them here, but I wonder over there if because it's the religious part of it, and stuff too.
Yeah.
That faith.
I don't know.
But yeah, let us know what you do. And then also all the listeners, let's hear that. And then in Christmas, like your Christmas traditions, which I feel like we don't have as many, I don't have as many Christmas ones, I think, because we just hang out here.
Yeah.
We've always just when we lived on Toyabe, I remember it was just Tosh and I doing Christmas, just the two of us.
Yeah.
So we would make a little ham. She would make like green bean casserole, whatever, and some just some food. And we'd sit there, just two of us having dinner. You know what I mean? And then we finally had Alexa, and drug her into it. But
and when you have kids, you kind of do a little bit more of the traditional Santa Claus traditions. You know what I mean? Like that's when you start doing more of the cookies and milk, and Santa bringing presents in the middle of the night type situation. When it's just you and your spouse, you're just kind of like, here, I got you this. Like the presents are out. But I've always tried to hide presents and still sneak them out there in the middle of the night. Even before I had kids, I always thought it was fun to try to surprise, because if you have presents sitting under the tree for a week or two in advance, it's kind of like, here it is. I always like that shock and kind of that surprise look on the other person's face when they come out and there's extra presents that weren't there the night before.
That's good. Yeah, I'm not like that at all. Opposite. Nope.
You're like, I'm putting this out there. There's your present.
No, I don't even put them out. I'm like, Tosh would be like, oh yeah, I got this Biore, whatever that's that. And it's for Christmas. I'm like, I told you, I knew you'd love it. You're welcome. It's like,
where's my present? Hey, remember that washer I bought you last week?
Remember that vacuum cleaner? That's messed up. There's probably some truth in that. Not for me, but for some others.
There is.
Well, the thing is, like, dude, Tasha will flat tell. She's like, I don't want you. Don't surprise me. And I feel like that's a kick to me. That's a kick to the ball. I'm like, what? Like, because she's like, apparently I'm a terrible gift getter.
Right.
And I really put some thought into it. Like, man, I thought you'd really like these. I thought you'd like this camo.
Didn't you say you wanted a new bowling ball?
Yeah. What is that? What is this? Well, that is a subcompact pistol with 2 extra mags and a box of bullets. And she's like, Oh, thank you. You got your CCW. Here you go.
I think the hardest part with like
birthday.
adults is that we just get stuff because we need things like tools. Like you and I get tools all year long, or we get hunting stuff that we need at the time we need it. That kind of thing. And so it is a little more for kids just to get a little bit extra. But like lately, in the last few years, as our kids have gotten into like the teenage years and stuff like that, it's a lot of clothes. I mean, it's stuff they need. They got new school clothes in August. By the time Christmas comes around, they've grown 2 inches, so they need new clothes anyway. So they just get quite a bit of clothes for Christmas just to get through the rest of the school year, in my opinion.
Well, I think that you're also looking at an age thing.
Correct.
So they transition out of like toys, yes. I guess, like that kind of stuff into now I want, a PS5 or a TV. They're like electronics and then clothes.
Yeah.
Like there's that phase.
There is, yes.
Oh, I just want the new cell phone. And it's like, you have a cell phone. I don't know, but they want a new one. I'm like, how does that even start that early? Especially now, like it didn't for us. Like I didn't get it until I was older, where I was like,
do you remember all the commercials when we were kids? It was Toys R Us commercials. It was, I mean, it was a ton of stuff, and because we watched.
I also think because those weren't there, we didn't have the touchscreen smartphones, tablets, that stuff, switches.
No,
I get it. Like for us, like you're saying, the commercial come out and be like the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, but a lot of
Super Nintendo.
And then it depends, I think, because you didn't have a lot of streaming platforms. You didn't have a lot. You had cable, you had local TV, or live TV or whatever they call it now. But on a lot of that, I mean, when you're a kid, you're watching kids shows. So that's where they pumped in the Toys R Us stuff, the Nerf. They pumped in, do you remember when Nerf footballs and the Nerf guns and all that kind of stuff was like every other commercial? Now it's all about. We
had a bunch of Nerf stuff.
We did have a bunch of Nerf stuff because it was cool. They made the commercials look so awesome. You're running around in the park and you're diving over things and you're hiding behind things and you're doing all this kind of stuff. That never came with the toy, but.
Yeah, no, none of that.
You couldn't do flips and dive onto things, but they made the commercials look good, so that's what you wanted. The remote control cars. They always had the close-ups and the slow-mo of those remote control cars going over the dirt jumps and hitting the berm and stuff. And you're like, I got a remote control car. I'm gonna go drive it on the grass, or you drive it out in the street. And the only way you could have any of that, it'd take you 4 days just to build a track that looked like the one in the commercial. And then you're just like, then you run the car for 10 minutes. And you're like, I got to charge the battery. Like, man, this sucks.
Yeah. So you run it for 10 minutes and you got to go plug it in for 3 hours.
Right. So now I think marketing has really changed it to, this electronic era where.
But you also think that there's probably still those commercials. We just don't watch them now.
I think there's still those commercials. We're just not watching the shows that they're plugging those in for these little kids to watch it. But think about it, though. When you're watching YouTube, like my 9-year-old, he watches a lot of YouTube. There's not a lot of commercials in there. You're watching
YouTube
Netflix.
Or YouTube TV?
Well, you just YouTube. I mean, there are commercials, but they're not pumping that kind of stuff in there. They're pumping the, you watch Netflix. There's no commercials on Netflix at all. Paramount doesn't have any commercials on it. So, I mean, we're kind of losing that. But when you watch regular TV, you're usually I don't know about everybody else, but we're usually watching more like adult stuff, like Amazing Race, Survivor, NFL. You're watching either sporting events or you're watching some of these, nighttime shows that are on TV, which
like
little
Skinamax?
Kids. No. No, like Amazing Race and
nighttime shows. I'm like, oh man, where are we going
evening,
with this?
Like evening shows. They're just evening shows you watch. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like Saturday morning cartoons. You know what I mean? I'm comparing it to Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, I think you're right on it. I think the shows that you're watching is the ads that you're getting.
Correct.
So if you were watching younger stuff, you would be getting those ads.
But a lot of the stuff that the kids are watching that are younger, they're not watching that on live TV that has commercials.
Yeah. Well, you still get ads, even on YouTube.
They still get ads.
Stuff. But it depends on what your kids are watching on YouTube also.
Right, when they're watching all these teenagers gaming and they're watching these teenagers.
So if you're watching somebody that's a teenager, it's going to be electronics.
Correct.
Ads will be for that stuff. Apps, games, consoles.
Correct.
All that, you know what I mean? I mean, like, Alexa's been asking for a TV since she was like, I don't even know, 7, 8 years old, probably 7 years old. I think she was like, when am I going to get a TV? I'm like, not for a while. Yeah. So, I mean, she's 12 now.
Yeah.
And so she's just like, do I ever get a TV? I'm like, golly. Yeah. When you move out.
They need a TV so that when their tablet dies, they can keep watching whatever they were watching on their smart TV.
And I couldn't tell you what the age is to get one. I don't know. Some people have them in there since they're little.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff. And we never did it. I think now that she's 12, we put a TV in there. Finally, you know, why not wait till Christmas? I don't know. I don't know how that works. So I'll leave that up to that mom and her.
Black Friday is always a good time to get TVs.
I know, but I already put one in. It's in there. Like that could have been we could have knocked one out of the park with a Christmas present.
Right. Just save it.
No, we put it in there like I think last week.
Oh, dude.
So she finally got one. She's 12 and a half. You know what I mean? So.
It
whatever.
Is
but it's all monitored. She still, I go, look, just because you have a TV and you're not just gonna be in your room all the time.
Yeah.
But there is times I understand, like we sit as a family and watch shows or whatever, and so so she watches them with us. But then there's also times where it's like,
bless you.
Did I get that?
You should have done it a little bit sooner.
Dude, I couldn't.
You were like,
on fast, bro.
All I heard was, I saw your hand going for the mute button. I'm like, dude, mute it. Because here it comes. And your face was like,
dude, I couldn't get it there fast. It like came quick. So there's time we're watching football. Like, she doesn't want to watch it. And so she's like,
yeah.
She's just sit there. And then she ain't going to put her tablet because I'm like, you're not going to sit here in the room or out in the room with your tablet on. You know, and I got to hear it. So she puts her headphones on, but I'm like, no, you're going to stay. All right, go watch your show. So,
yeah.
But it's cool. It worked out. So, I mean, she likes it. But I think like Christmas ones, we don't have, like now we go and have it with Chas and Corey and Corey's parents.
Right.
Because they were like, Chas had said something or whatever to them. And they're like, well, what do they do? And Chas like, well, they just stay at home.
See, now I don't want to go anywhere. I'm going to put Christmas Day pajamas. I want to just stay in my pajamas all day.
Yeah.
I don't go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. Stay in your comfy pajamas, open presents, eat lots of treats all day. And we do cook like you do. We still do kind of just do a little mini, whether it's ham or turkey or whatever, but it's still kind of the same thing. You still do some potatoes. You still do the green bean casserole. You kind of have like a little fancy, we call it fancy. I don't know. It's like having fancy ketchup. You know what I mean? It's still just like a Sunday dinner, I guess, on Christmas Day. We do have mom and dad come over. They come over for a minute.
Do they come over in their pajamas?
No. And then
you still stay in yours though, I guarantee.
I have changed a couple of times. I don't think I change every time, but it's kind of like, so I'll change.
Like, I guess there is like you have the like, what is it? Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
The opening. We don't even do a present now. You remember we used to do a present.
Yeah, it was always pajamas. It was pajamas.
One present at night, but we don't. I don't think we don't do that now because Tasha never did it.
Okay.
And so she was like, what is that? But the only thing we do traditionally, I guess, is like we do our Christmas stuff, like set up the tree, all that stuff. And I pick Alexa up every year and she puts the star on the tree.
Of course.
And so I told her, I'm like, and that's one of my goals too. Like I always say, I'm going to stay fit enough to where like, I will be able to pick you up and put your star on until I am no longer on this earth. Right. Like that's my goal. So every year, and it ain't like she's getting any lighter. So like now I used to just pick her up this way. Now I put her on my shoulder, take some of that pressure off, But we do that, and then we don't do the presents. And then I think the early morning stuff is the same as everybody. But what's good now, it's fun now because she's right at that age where she gets up early. You remember you have that? I remember having that phase where we used to get up early.
Oh yeah,
we would, and remember
5:30 in the morning.
Santa presents were like unwrapped, the ones we could play with.
Yeah,
and we had to wait.
And you're stocking.
Yes, and stocking. So we do a stocking, and you can't. But sometimes, like Alexa will get up, and she sneaks out and can see it. So, but she won't come wake us up.
Right.
She'll kind of do her thing and stuff, and then when we get up, or like I'll hear her rustling around or something, but she's all trying to be like super quiet. But I'll hear her and stuff, and so then we usually get up and get coffee going, and she's super patient about it because I'm like, all right, let's get some coffee going and then do this and this. And she's just like chomping at the bit,
She's like, I played with these for an hour. I'm done. Let's go.
I'm ready to
Move
hand
on.
these out. Like, I got them all organized. Here's your pile. Here's your pile. Here's mom's pile. Like, she just wants to get going. So we do that, but then we clean up. Like, we clean up during. So then it's like once we're done, it's all cleaned up. Everything's done out. And then we just hang out, like you said. And then we don't go over to Tim and Mickey's until, 2 o'clock maybe. I want to say probably like that. So you have a pretty good portion of the day. And then we go over there and do prime rib.
Right.
Potatoes, the deep fried turkey. They have some snacks and stuff. And then green bean casserole. And so we hang out there. They do that kind of stuff. Chas and Corey, we kind of exchange presents with their kids. I guess Tasha's niece and nephew. So it would be. And then we leave. That's about it. Oh.
Sounds about right.
But what's crazy is that it's like very minimal compared to your Thanksgivings.
Oh yeah.
But I wonder then, so people could comment in, if it's the opposite. If you go to your family or go to places or do stuff for Christmas, you probably have a bigger tradition. I feel like.
Right. You'd think that maybe the ones that do the big stuff on Christmas did smaller stuff on Thanksgiving, to where the people that do big stuff on Thanksgiving do smaller stuff on Christmas. So.
Yeah. But I feel like Christmas is more of an individual family than a whole family. Does that make sense?
It does for us. I mean, that's how we think about it. I'm pretty sure there's people that don't.
But I mean, there's you, me, Kevin.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Your other side of your other half, my other half, Kevin's other half. Look at that's 6 people right there, and you don't all get together for Christmas.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So like, I feel like Thanksgiving, because of that's how it originated, was everybody got together and was thankful for being thankful. So it's like, when it comes to Thanksgiving, I feel like that's more the tradition, is the gathering of more people. You know what I mean? So you get more people together. So families all come together for Thanksgiving and then just do their own thing for Christmas.
There you go.
I don't know. That's what I think anyways.
So
what else you got, bro?
I had one that kind of went with your traditions, like we were ending on our last episode. And I was thinking about it, and I thought it was pretty... I don't know. For me, it was kind of lame. I was thinking of where you've traveled. Like, how do you consider where you've been an actual thing? Right? Because, quote unquote, I've been to Arizona, but that's only because I drive through what they call the Arizona Strip to get to Vegas. Like, I've never actually been to Arizona. Like, I've never gone to a town. I don't try.
Through Arizona.
But I count it. Just like when you count, I've gone to your place in Nevada. I've gone to Nevada a lot more, but when I was younger, it was like, oh yeah, I've been to Vegas. But the only reason I went to Vegas was to go through Vegas when we went to go see Dad in California.
Yeah.
So, like I went to we went to Colorado that one year to go visit some family there that one summer. We were there for a few days. Yeah, Aunt Judy and them. Yeah. So like that counts as going to Colorado. But Emily and I went on a cruise from Florida down to the Caribbean, but we flew into Atlanta, and then from Atlanta, I didn't leave the airport, and then we flew into Florida. So I count that I've been to Georgia. Then on the way back, we flew into, I think, Houston, and from Houston we flew, back to Utah. So you count that as being in Texas. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just how you look at it. If you say you could kind of word it, I guess, too. I've been through Arizona. Like you haven't really ever been. You've just been through Arizona. As a kid, you've been through Nevada because we never stopped.
Right.
But now you've been to Nevada.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess you just have to be how you'd have to put a criteria on it. I guess, like, okay, how many states have you been to if you stayed there overnight? Well, they'll probably cut half of them.
Probably cut
right? You know what I'm saying? Like, drove through it. I just drive through wherever.
But I was just wondering how people feel.
Oh, I can guarantee you people mark down where they've been state-wise in places, whether they've flown to it or drove through it. They're marking it. Yeah, for sure. Just because I feel like everybody wants more pins on their map or whatever.
They just want that number to be a little higher.
Yeah, because. But
then, like, I feel like there'd be like if I told you that, I've been to Arizona, I've been to Georgia, I've been to Florida, I've been to Texas, I've been to Seattle, well, that's Washington, and Oregon, California, and all that kind of stuff. And you would look at me and be like, dude, I don't remember you staying at all these places.
Yeah.
I'm not saying just you. I'm just using you as an example because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of family members or friends.
Like,
right.
No way.
Like, dude, you have, when did you go to Georgia? I'm like, well, we've had a layover. You're like, that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
I was there for 3 hours.
You didn't even leave the building. You don't even know what it looks like outside.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I ate. But
but you ate in the airport. Doesn't even count. They probably flew it in from somewhere else.
This is Burger King. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I think that because I think the only state that I haven't would be Arizona. I've been to Phoenix, but it was airport.
Okay.
So I would never say I'm trying to think. I think every other place that I've been to, I've flown to, I have been to and done stuff. You know what I mean? Like when we come out of Reno, our flights usually do that. Like it'll go to like Dallas. And so I've had layovers in Dallas before, but I also been to Dallas and stayed.
Okay.
And went around. So Texas, I've been to Waco, all that stuff. So, when we went, because we went for regionals, so we were there for like 3 or 4 days,
right?
And went around sightseeing. And
we went to Texas for that rock building
boulders. Yeah, that was in Waco.
Building boulders. Yeah,
Waco, Texas. Yeah.
But like when you guys when you went to Scotland, where was your layovers for Scotland?
In Dublin.
You went straight from where? Vegas, straight there?
No, it was like we flew. I think that might have been one of the Phoenix ones. Out of Reno to Phoenix, Phoenix to Florida, and then Florida to Dublin.
Oh, okay.
And then Dublin to.
And I know you've had trips in Florida, so you've stayed in Florida, so you can count that one.
Yeah,
but see, for me,
Miami, Orlando, and Jacksonville.
I couldn't even count Florida because we flew into Florida, got on a cruise ship, and left. And then when we got back from the cruise ship, we got in the airport and we left. So I mean, there was a little bit of driving, so I wasn't just stuck in the airport. But
because we've been. So
I can't count Florida. We went to.
Didn't you go?
We went to Disney World. Yeah.
Because I was saying that's in Orlando.
Yeah.
So we went to Disney World, then went to Miami to Wadapalooza, and then we went to Jacksonville. Yeah, Miami's freaking popping, dude. That place is insane.
Dude, I think the colors of their buildings down there are so awesome.
Dude, there's so much money running around Miami, dude. I've never seen so many sports cars, dude, like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and just every sort of, just crazy amounts, dude. Little sport bike guys just been, out. Like I saw 3 of them pull up and were revving their motors and just being a-holes, dude, and then took off, burning out, roasted them across this line, and the cop turns his lights on, and they just smoke him, just ditch him.
Just gone.
There's like nothing he can do.
On a bullet bike?
Like,
is that what it was?
Yeah, there's 3 of them on little sports bike. Yeah, these little souped up, like they're like these little mini bike looking things, but they're like sports bike things. I don't even know what they are. They don't look like those, like the Ducati or the Ninjas. They're different, but they're just doing these and they know what they're doing, because I was like, we were at this getting ready to go into a restaurant, dude, and the cop flips around and they take off, and they're just like cockroaches. Pew, pew, pew. And then he just turns his lights off like 2 blocks later. I'm just like, well, hell with it. He's like, I ain't going to catch him anyway. I had 2 guys blow the doors off me. And I don't drive slow. We're in a rent-a-car. It's like a Camry or whatever, cruising along, coming back. And I'm not joking you. It was like nothing. And then I look in the rear mirror and I see some lights. And then something blows past me so fast, I felt it like suck the car towards their lane. And it was a white Lamborghini. And then this other Corvette comes ripping along the other side. I'm like, what? And then all of a sudden it's brake lights. And Tosh's like, what are they doing? I'm like, they're about to race. And they get in front of us, and I'm in the car, and we're doing like 80, right? And they're in front of us. They brake, and they start coming. We're still cruising to like about that 75 or whatever, 70 maybe. It slowed down a little bit. But when they take off, dude, I can still feel like the vibration and the loudness of it. And we're in the car driving down the freeway at X miles an hour. And it's just like, boom, and they're just gone. And they're doing 100 and something miles an hour down the freeway in Miami.
Yeah, one person makes a lane change in front of them. They're screwed.
Oh, gosh, dude. They're in a cop car or nothing. Like, they get pulled over or nothing. So it was cool, but... And then like Jacksonville, we went to the Church 1122, and then we stayed a couple days. Right. We had a place on the beach, and then we went on our mission trip to Jamaica. So, but yeah, like out of country stuff that I would say, like I would say staying, because like Mexico, we did Mexico, but that was the first time I'd been in Mexico was a cruise.
Right.
And so you're like, that, I mean, you're there.
I think it counts. You're out walking around, you're doing stuff, right?
So I would say that counts, because you actually spend a day and go see culture and do something in that state or country or whatever.
Right.
So definitely Mexico, we've been there a few times, but we've also flown into Mexico and stayed. St. Lucia, that's where we got married. So we flew into St. Lucia and stayed there for the week. Jamaica a week. And then I think those are only probably off country. Oh, well, Scotland. Yeah. And then we went to England, stayed the day there. So kind of that little region, that kind of area. But
yeah, that was just a question I had for our listeners was, what do you count as actually on your pin? When you mark the map, where have you been? Do you count going through it? Do you count staying at it? Do you, that kind of stuff?
I think if you were like breaking it down technically wise, I would think you would have to stay and do something, even if it was just for the day.
Nope, I count it.
Okay, you count it. Go ahead. He's all, no, I count it.
My numbers up.
I think you guys, what you need to do is go to Alaska. Alaska's cool because it's almost like not being in the United States.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, because you fly into it and then you land like wherever, Anchorage, and then I would recommend then renting a car and driving to your next place.
Yeah.
So that you can see it. But dude, Alaska it makes you feel, I guess, small in a sense. Dude, when you drive through Alaska is like, when they say, I don't even know if they say it, but it's like the last frontier. Like, I mean, it is wicked. Some of those mountains and stuff in there, they look scary. Just shards of these giant mountains, and there's just trees, and it's just like wild. You know what I mean? Like everywhere you go, like you go hiking, like we went hiking stuff. There's this stuff about making noise. They even tell you like play music on your phone to deter bears.
Oh gosh.
You know what I mean?
So much wildlife.
Oh yeah, everywhere. It's just insane. Like you go fishing. Like we went fishing on the Kenai River, and he's like, all right, if we get off and we shore fish or whatever, if a bear he's not like an F. He's like, when a bear comes up, and takes your fish, just let him have it. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they won't do nothing to you, but just let them have your fish. He goes, they'll just sit here in the trees and wait. And they wait till you get you a fish, and you sit there and reel this thing in. Then he comes out, and
they're like pigeons at the park. They're just waiting for you to start throwing crumbs.
They're like 400 or 500 pounds and eat your face.
See, and I've talked about going to Alaska, but all I can associate Alaska with cold, hot weather, whatever. But like I tell my wife, I'm like, oh, we need to go to Alaska. She's like, nope, it's Alaska. It's cold, 100%. That's all. That's what a lot of people think. It's just Alaska is cold. So there's just, if they're not a cold person.
Your wife lives in Utah. It gets cold in Utah too.
It's true. So, it's true. It gets cold. I think it'd be fine, but
it is like we went. It's great, dude. It's like on like your warm days, it's like 70 when we were there. That was July, middle of July. But the weird thing is, it doesn't get light, or it doesn't get dark.
Right.
I mean, a moose came and was standing in the pond outside of our cabin.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, look at that moose. And so that I was like, mate, I was looking for Alexa, and she was in bed. And I'm like, get up, come out here and look at this moose. And the sun was still hitting the top of the trees, the pine trees, as we were looking out this window.
It's 10:30 at night.
10:40 at night, dude. And you're just sitting there just looking out the window in daytime watching a moose in the pond. I was just like, dude, this is insane. But
that's pretty cool, though.
I mean, I wouldn't let the cold keep you away for sure. I'm not saying but it's cool. Like when you're hiking and stuff like that, you gotta, I wore shorts and just had a sweatshirt, and it was great. And once we got hiking and stuff, I'd have to take my sweatshirt off. But for the girls, they just kept like legging joggers or whatever, and their jackets.
What was the low temperature?
There's not a huge, it's not as big a swing as we get here. Like like how you get it, dark. Like that desert swing. Correct. Yeah. So it's like when it's 70 and then nighttime rolls around and that sun goes down, you're still like high 50s.
No, okay.
You know what I mean? But then it's like 37 minutes later, the sun's coming back out. Yeah, so I got to go long. It's like, oh, it's morning time, starting to warm up. That kind of stuff. But it's cool. It's definitely worth it, dude. It's a beautiful place.
No, it should be on a bucket list for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I want to go hunt up there.
Yeah, I know. But you want to go hunt some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, it'll happen. Yep. There's no doubt. So it's like going up, like bucket list stuff, like we've talked about, going up north and hunting wolves, going to Alaska, hunting bears, that kind of stuff. Moose or bear, maybe both if you're going to be up there. All right, here we are, guys. That's a wrap. We will shut her down. Thanks for listening. We'll have to figure out. We lost Vinny, so peace out, Vinny. We'll get the rest dialed in. Thanks for getting on here with us, guys. And then happy Thanksgiving this week. Eat lots. Enjoy your family. Love. Say your prayers. And hug your family tight. Later.